Hello and welcome back to FSAR. I'm Rich Downey. In the last video, 6, we looked at autoconfig, web, API, and mobile Cucumber scenarios, where we stopped using environment variables to generate configurations for the different types of testing, be it web, API, or we took a quick look at getting started with mobile. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to auto-configure mobile scenarios so that they run with Appium and are able to generate mobile tests. So you'll see here this iOS simulator with this basic FSAR form which I put together. Not really much going on here, but it'll help serve the purpose of just being able to run mobile tests from the FSAR stack. So let's take a look at the hooks mobile specific file here that gets called when we ever run a mobile scenario, which comes from here. So I've started a basic authentication feature, verify invalid login. So it's going to fill in the ID, locator ID, with this bad bot at FSAR.com. Again, I'm not going to get into detail of how this all works. I just want to show running different views. These will come in later sessions. I'll go deep dive into Appium and things like that. But basically, it just finds the element that you pass in, the email, text field, clears it, and then sends the keys that you pass in. So we're passing in badbot. First, you'll need Appium running on your desktop. It's currently the latest and greatest is 2.0, beta 13. So I have a command here that just automatically sets up and starts running Appium 2.0. So now that that's running, we can run our test. So actually I want to look at the configuration a little more. We don't need this. This is the general hooks. Move that over. Why am I doing this? Want that there. Okay. So for Appium, we'll need these caps variable, and it's a global variable here that we can pass around and rake tests and things like that. Basically, you need the platform name, the automation name, which is we're using XCUI test. Appium version that I'm just grepping basically from this command locally, which is what we saw here. And this app attribute is just going to pull my little FSAR app here from the desktop. And then we can pass in later on if we want to update the version, but it'll default to iOS 14.5 and iOS 12. I'll do this later on in later videos. But yeah, it'll just spit out what the caps is so we can see it in our console output here. And then it just initializes the Appium driver with the caps that we generated. It's going to point to the proper server that's set up here, port 4723. It's going to put out whatever the device info has that we're running. So let's have a look at this and run it. Again, Cucumber features mobile will automatically generate the config here that we have in our hooks mobile file. Alright, so we need authentication. Alright, so we see the test running, we see our caps output here that tells us the configuration that we have set up. We see the Appium server running, things happening in the web view. So yeah, that's basically our simple mobile test. So let's look at, we don't have any containers running, so I'm going to kick those off again. containers. I think I have localhost running because that test just ran there, right? Yeah, localhost 3000 is running. So let's just make sure like a web file, feature file still works. And I've changed the default to headless. We can pass in a browser environment variable if we want to see a browser, but you see it bounce there. It's running against localhost, and the web still work. Web feature files. How about API? Great. API still works against localhost. We should see that new conf. There it is. Okay. Let's check on our containers. Looks like they're running now. So again, we've generated the web containers based on each feature file. We also have one for API because we only have one API feature file. But now there's a new one generated container for the mobile stuff. So if we want to run this test, once we develop more of the app, we can call in and log in. It's going to use the users in that container isolated database. So that'll be nice. Again, our rate task, let me see here. I've added the case statement for mobile so that we're going to see mobile scenarios running against whatever port is generated for that, for this test to run against. Again, there's no calls being made to any servers yet. It's just a simple login form to verify that this is working all nicely. But we still have our web running in port and our API running in port. So container's been running for a couple minutes. It should be good. So let's run everything, right? FSAR. So we're running web, API, and mobile all at the same time against their isolated containers. So you'll see the mobile has one now at 3051 port, and API, and the rest are webs for all the web feature files. So there go the browser test starting to run, the web test. Looks like the Appium test already finished, or the API test already finished. We see here the caps from our mobile test. That's going to run against its own container. Not as quick as the others, but it's still running. And all the webs are finishing up here at the same time as well. So all right. Well, just a couple more web features. Looks like the mobile's still running. Okay, everything's finished. Yeah, all this output is pretty confusing to see all the web, mobile, and API tests mungled in here together. So I think in the next episode I'll show my app QCub, which we basically send all these results up to QCub, and we can sort through and see mobile features there, red or green, or API or web. Just a nice central housing for all our data test results instantaneously. That way we can still scale out our tests and make sense of the results once all the tests are finished. So yeah, I'll take a tour in that next time. See you then.